Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Founder's Chair. The Founder's Chair is a podcast where we dive deep into the lives of business owners and find out what it's really, truly like to run your own business. I'm Lauren Brannan, I'm your host, and today we are with John Strange, the director of Aspray, Glasgow West. Hi, John. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks very much, Lauren. I'm looking forward to it.
So, to kick us off, why don't you just tell us a wee bit about yourself, like where you come from, a wee bit of your personal story?
How long have you got? Well, my name's John Strange. I am currently, I've just turned 46, so I'm an old man. I was born in Glasgow, south side of Glasgow. Grew up there most of my life. Then got married and moved to the west end of Glasgow, and now I live out in Steps. I've got two kids, twin girls who I'll be
Oh,
21
wow.
this year.
It must keep
So the,
you
the bank balance will
keep
take
you
a
busy.
tanking at that point in time, yeah. And basically, I suppose I've kind of always been in, but I've never really had a job, if you like. I've always been in business, even at school. I was the wee guy that ran a couple of wee businesses and whatnot. And then when I left school, I suppose a lot of people that know me know that I started off life in the sort of entertainment
Right,
industry.
okay.
I was an actor back in the back when I was a
Oh,
teenager a
that's
long, long time
interesting.
ago, and I had a business back then supplying extras, background artists to the film and
Oh,
TV
okay,
industry,
I
and
see.
that's where my life started, if you like, before I then decided to start a business or purchase a business and get a real job, if you like, rather than pretend to be an actor and whatnot. So,
Oh, amazing. So, you must have some funny stories for your past. Have you got any funny story that your family has that you could share with us?
oh God, there's loads. I mean, I'm kind of known as somebody that doesn't take himself too seriously.
I like that.
I'm more than willing to be. You know how sometimes when you're in a group of people and you're going somewhere and you need a volunteer for something, I'm generally the one that's shoved
You're
to
the
the
first
front
to.
because I'll be like, right, okay, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. So, 'cause my family are probably continually telling funny stories about me. I don't mind making a fool of myself. I'm quite partial to the odd pink piece of
Oh,
attire.
brilliant.
Um, we quite like to go to the Hydro in Glasgow
Hmm.
for as many gigs as we can. And
Ah.
I'm renowned for having I've actually got a pink cowboy hat that I'll happily wear, and there's pictures of me all over the place driving into the Hydro with a pink Stetson on, because it doesn't bother me, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's a good
I
laugh.
suppose the kids and whatnot, they like to pretend they're embarrassed by me with some of the stuff that I do, but really they actually quite like having a dad who is willing to just
Yeah.
take take the take the mickey out of himself, you know.
Probably now
Yeah.
that they're a bit older, they'll appreciate that more. When they
Oh,
were younger, they'd be like, Dad.
it's when their friends turn around and say, actually, your dad's quite cool,
Yeah.
which is something, as I'm sure most parents out there that have got teenagers or early 20s kids, if you're referred to as relatively cool by, and saying that, they don't say cool anymore, but whatever phrase
Yeah.
you use, they'll happily say that. So yeah, they probably tell lots of stories about me behind my back that I don't know about, but I don't take myself too seriously, and I'm more than happy to have the Mickey taken out of me.
Oh, brilliant. I absolutely love that. So tell us a wee bit more about Asprey and what kind of a services you offer and things like that.
So, Aspray Glasgow West's was a franchise
Hmm.
for the start of Asprey Limited, which is a national organisation of loss assessors. So, sort of the boring part, if you like, is we help people make successful buildings insurance claims.
Okay.
It's as exciting as that. What that really means is if you're a homeowner or a business owner and you need to put a claim into your insurance for damage to your property, then you can come to us and we'll take care of the whole thing for you. It's as
Brilliant.
simple as that.
Hmm.
That you don't have to try and navigate the insurance world, the contracting world, the pricing, the scoping, finding people to do the work, finding somewhere to stay during the work. So if you've got a burst pipe or your house goes on fire or somebody, have God forbid, breaks in and trashes your property or whatnot, having to put a claim in and deal with that on your own. it's a daunting task for the majority of the public. That's what we do every day. So we just take care of the whole thing from start to finish. And I've got a team, I've got a great team of loss assessors that work for me. And we go out there every day and help people really at the end of the day. So that's pretty much the whole business in 15 seconds there. We help people. We help people who need to make an insurance claim against their property.
Brilliant. And like at what point did you kind of like take over and become the owner of Glasgow West?
So that's a great question. When was that? I think I'm coming up on 10 years. Maybe next year will be 10 years
Wow,
that I've been
fantastic.
doing it. So I'd started off. I'd said to you earlier when we were chatting that I'd started off as an actor, and I had a business in the
Mhm.
film and TV industry. So during that process, I started to buy properties.
Right.
Um, Buy to let properties. So I would buy them cheap, do them up, rent them out, or sell them. My friend Paul and I did that for a number of years. So because of that, I was involved in construction and property. So I knew a lot of tradespeople, I knew a lot of surveyors, I knew a lot of people within that industry. So I had a small maintenance firm at the time,
Mm.
and I happened to bump into a guy at an exhibition who was looking for contractors. And he asked me if we could do insurance work. And I said, yeah, of course we can. I mean, I had no idea if we could or we couldn't, but first rule in business is you always say yes and then do the figuring out later.
Yeah.
So that was a good friend of mine, Joe McGuigan, and he has one of the other Aspray franchises. So him and I started working together, and then I realised that I could probably offer more to the overall business than just being one of his contractors, if you like. So we sat down. I told him, look, there's an opportunity to take one of the franchises on. I'm going to do that. So, and he was okay with it.
Mhm.
Made contact with the main business, the Aspray Limited, and purchased the franchise, and that would have been in 2016. So
Brilliant. Oh, that's amazing. So you've kind of always just had the confidence to be a business owner for a young age, eh?
apparently so, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not always made a success of it. I've had some really good big highs and some really big lows
Yeah.
over the 20 odd 25 years I've been doing business. So but yeah,
Brilliant.
confidence isn't an issue.
What would you say has been your biggest learning in that time?
Um Probably, and if those who know me that are watching this will be rolling about laughing. The biggest learning for me is to try and find a way not to be a control freak.
Right, okay.
You have to
To be
you
able to
have to
delegate.
yes, you have to trust those around you. And I find that difficult. Not to trust them as such, but not to micromanage or not
Yeah,
to put too much pressure on them that you end up doing it yourself. And
yeah,
that's taken me a long, long, long time. I mean, the staff in here will laugh and say I still do it, but you've got to let people play to their own strengths, and you've
yeah,
got to there's no point in employing someone if you don't have faith in them that they can do the job you're employing them to do. And
yeah,
luckily for me, I've got a great. I mean, we're a small team here. There's only half a dozen of us, but two of the folk that work for me, Nikki and Way, they're coming up on 10 years
wow.
me as well, which in this day and age in business is very rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Been with you since the
Very
beginning.
rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been with me since the start almost, and they're still here, so I must be doing something.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, how important would you say it is to you, like, for to have the team around you? Like, would you say they're number one priority?
100%. Yep.
Yeah,
Our philosophy in here, as I said to you, is about helping people. Now, granted, anyone that says they're in business not to make money is lying.
yeah,
So you're in business ultimately to be successful and to make money. That's the whole point in business. However, if you can put a focus on something else that allows you to make money, then that's brilliant. And our philosophy in here and the Asprey wide philosophy is we're helping people.
yeah.
And as cheesy as it sounds, see if you can get up in the morning and go to sleep at night and know that during that day you actually helped someone
Hmm.
doing your job. That's a fantastic feeling, and that's what we do. I mean, the amount of clients and business owners or homeowners that we've dealt with who've been devastated by their. I mean, it's a horrible thing when your property's damaged.
Yep.
It's all very well if your bathroom's leaked and your ceilings come down in the kitchen, that's fine. But we've dealt with some properties that have been flattened with
Yep.
fire, and people have lost everything. We went into one a number of years ago, and the Christmas tree was melted to the wall. It's horrible, but we're the experts. We know how to deal with it. I sometimes say you're 50% counsellor, 50% loss assessor at times because you're dealing with people at the worst possible point.
Yeah.
But to answer the question you actually asked, is the team around me are the most important thing to me. We all buy into the same dream, the same philosophy, which is helping people and making people's lives a wee bit easier in a time of need. And you need the right people for that.
Yep.
And I firmly believe I've got the right people in here.
That's amazing. So we spoke about your biggest learning. What would you say has been your biggest challenge since being a business owner?
Um, well, probably what I'd said earlier about trying not to be a control freak. But if you
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
if you take that aside, the biggest challenge, I suppose, is we live in a really awkward world these days. I mean, everyone always mentions the C word, COVID. That's 5 years ago now. That was a huge challenge for every business owner, and it was the same for us as well. Not only did we have to all go home from the office for that period of time, we also had to still go out, and we were one of the few businesses that were
Still open.
were still needed because COVID or not, if your house went on fire, your house went on fire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can remember being pretty much fully hazmat suited up, going into properties to survey
Always.
damage and then trying to figure out what contractors could work and where they could
Yeah.
work and social distancing. And, that was a challenge, but I'm sure everyone says COVID was a challenge. I think in any business, the biggest challenge is staying relevant,
hmm that's a good
evolving
point. Yeah.
and evolving with now. Again, we're quite unique in here with insurance claims is because there will always be, as long as there are properties, there will always be insurance. As
Hmm.
long as there's insurance, there will always be a need for our service. So we're kind of recession proof almost, if you like. But the biggest challenge is in our unique business, letting people know our service exists is the biggest challenge.
Right.
The amount of people we meet who say, I've heard of loss adjusters, and we say, well, a loss adjuster works on behalf of the insurance company. A loss assessor works on behalf of the homeowner.
Yep.
And then you can see the penny dropping when they go, I
Oh.
didn't realize that was a service that was out there that existed. And it's like, well, yeah, you can engage with our service, which is at no cost to you, the homeowner. It's free effectively to you, providing we use our own contractors, and we can take all the stress and hassle, or attempt to take all the stress and
Mhm.
hassle away from you. So the biggest challenge is it's not really an easy business to market.
Yeah.
If
Yep. Trying to get that
you
aware.
can't really advertise, because then you look like your traditional ambulance chaser. That's
Yeah.
not who we are. All of our work comes from word of mouth,
hmm
uh, or what we call an introducer network. So folk
Yep.
who like letting agents, estate agents, insurance brokers who've got a bank of clients who own properties. That's where, and it's always on recommendation.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest
Fantastic.
thing is being relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know that if you do a good job with your client, then they're going to recommend you to the
Yeah.
next person. So,
Yeah. Well, I tell everyone I've got a great story of I mean, it must be 6 or 7 years ago now. We got a phone call through someone I knew. His friend's downstairs toilet pipe had burst in there and had trashed the entire downstairs on the day of his daughter's wedding. So he was
oh
like, "What
God.
do I do here? My daughter's getting married. Then they're going on honeymoon. We're going on holiday. What do I do?" So I was there within an hour,
Wow.
told him to relax, dealt with it all, spoke to the insurance company, had them staying somewhere else. He went and had the daughters, went to the wedding, everything was all fine. But because of the sort of care and attention that we showed to him and his family, forget the property for 10 minutes. That was secondary to making sure
Yeah,
he was okay.
they were okay. Yeah.
He then recommended me to his brother, and then his brother recommended me to his nephew. And then I think we must have done 15, 16 insurance claims for that family or
Wow.
the wider connections to that family. And not all of them have been successful claims. Sometimes it's just been advice.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in pay it forward.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to go and visit someone and spend a couple of hours with them and explain to them that actually, you don't have an insurance claim here, but this is what I would recommend you do to mitigate the damage, to stop any further issues and whatnot. And people appreciate you taking the time and effort
Yeah.
to help them for absolutely no reward financially at all.
Yeah.
But it sticks and they
They'll
phone and
remember that. Yeah.
they remember that. So,
Aye, absolutely. What if you had to say pick three people that have kind of helped you in your business journey, and that you're grateful for being there, who would you say and
oh
why?
God, if I have to narrow that down to three means I'm going to upset some people. That's a really, really tough one. I was thinking about, I could probably narrow it down to three groups of people,
Well, that would be fine. Yeah,
which
let's
is
do
maybe a cop out.
that.
Those three groups would be my family,
Yeah,
obviously, because they're always there for me and they always support me through absolutely everything. The long hours that I work, the stress that I sometimes bring home, which I try not to. The second group of people would be my friends,
yeah,
who are always there for me when I need it. I've got a lot of friends that are business owners as well.
yeah. So you can kind of lean off each other.
Yeah, and then a third group of people would be the staff that I have who are also
Right.
friends as well. I try and foster a, a very friendly and relaxed working environment. Well, I try most of the time.
Yeah,
And I would say that the majority of people who either work for me at the moment or who have worked for me in the past would still class me as a friend. I mean, I've got one guy that worked for me back in the TV and film days, so you're talking what 2001, maybe 2002.
yeah. Wow.
And he still calls me boss.
Oh,
To this
really?
day, whenever he phones me, he says, "How's it going, boss?" And he still calls
Oh,
me boss.
brilliant.
So I would say the three groups of people would be my family, my friends, and my staff. I don't think I could, if I single one or
Yeah,
two
yeah,
people,
yeah. No, I
I'm
completely
never going to
understand
hear
that.
the end of it. They're all just as important as each other.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. And I think the nicest thing about the guy that still phones you is the fact that he still phones you after 20
Yeah,
odd years when you
yeah,
last worked together, which is
yeah.
brilliant.
Don't get me wrong. You can never go through life without annoying some people. There are some people that probably don't talk to me now, but I would say there's still a few people. In fact, there's more than one actually. I've got
Yeah,
a shout out to Patrick actually if he watches this. So Patrick was the wee cousin of my best friend Paul, and he came and worked for me when he was at uni.
right.
So he would come in at the weekends to do bookkeeping. Just
Okay. Hmm.
back in the day, this is 20 years ago when spreadsheets were the big, big, big thing, and he would come in at the weekends and do that whilst he was going through uni, and then he became an accountant, and now then he worked for the government, and then he moved on to the police and stuff like that. So he's
Oh,
very, very, very
been about.
successful. He still calls me boss as well, which is funny. I mean, he's absolutely flying in his career now, but he still calls me boss.
Oh,
So
brilliant. That
it's
must
good.
be a nice feeling.
He's
So what's the next big thing for you and for Aspray Glasgow West? Do you think about like the next couple of years? What's next for you?
I think, like I was saying earlier, still trying to evolve as a business and remain relevant. Obviously, we're authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, so they're always changing the rules, the
Yeah,
regulations, all that kind of stuff. So you've got to, we've got a great team down at our head office who keep an eye on all the compliance for us and whatnot. So it's about continuing to improve. You can always improve. You can always do better. And we just try and do that every minute of every day. Do I have a 1, 3, 5 year plan? Probably not, other than constantly just trying to be better and
Yep.
looking for ways of making the process smoother
Hmm.
and better for the homeowner and better for us and better ultimately for the insurance company as well, because
Yeah.
they're going to want the claims dealt with and more efficiently.
Yeah. Well, that's it. The quicker the more efficiently they can get done, then
Exactly.
the more faster you can move on. So,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, fantastic. So one last thing, John, if you had any advice for anyone just starting out in business, or trying to do it on their own, what advice would you give them?
Do it first and foremost. Your business is hard.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard, and it's hard when you're at the top of the tree, if you like, as far as the business goes. I've got a good number of friends that are business owners as well, and the one thing we always say to each other is nobody really understands what it's like to be there at the top of that mountain on your own. You've
Lonely,
got,
yeah,
as I said, I've got a great team, I've got a great family, great friends, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, the decision
is
lies
yours.
with me at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Hmm.
And if I make the wrong decision, I've only got myself to blame. So it's it's hard, but don't let that put you off.
Hmm.
Business, running your own business gives you an element of freedom,
Yeah.
you know. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's time consuming. But if you're passionate about something, if you're passionate about it, just do it.
Yeah.
See if you fail, fine. Get up the next day and try again.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll work. You just have to keep on going and keep on trying.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. You've got some great advice, John. Thank you so much.
That's great, no worries.
And then that's us all done for the day. So thank you so much, John. It was brilliant to learn more about you. That flew in. Like, I can't believe that it's
That's
been
not at
25
all.
minutes already. Um,
Anytime.
and thank you so much to all of our listeners, and I will see you all next time.